Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony. I appreciate you joining us today for ECOM and Beyond, best big morning show on the YouTubes. And with me, as always, we have Nate. Every day I'm hustling, my awesomely bearded co-host. And today we have a very special guest with us. I want to introduce him to you guys. His YouTube name is Waitwhoisdavid, and his real name is David Guzman.
Yes.
Being here today. He does a lot of liquidation and stuff like that. So I wanted to introduce him to a lot of you guys, and he's going to start doing a whole lot of content and stuff like that over on his channel. So wanted to, help him get started off on the right foot and with some people that'll support him. So David, do you want to introduce yourself to the people and maybe tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So hi, my name is David Guzman. I am a pretty much a liquidation reseller based in Las Vegas, Nevada. Pretty much I own a small brand that I've been trying to work from the bottom up from scratch. It is the Waitwho brand. Pretty much what I do with this brand is just pretty much like it's, like Waitwhoisdavid, as in like, who am I going to be in, and where am I going to be, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And pretty much the journey I take to get from here to where eventually I'm going to be. And pretty much in this brand, I've also created a liquidation reselling business out of it, which is Waitwho Liquidations. And pretty much, I've just been buying a bunch of pallets from different websites, different companies, flipping everything. And luckily enough, I have a liquidation warehouse here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just drive over, pick it up, and just start reselling everything. But that's pretty much what I'm trying to develop right now, and trying to spread the word and help other people start up their own business and doing the same thing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's really cool. That's like one of the things that me and Nate like doing a whole lot too is, helping people and stuff as far as growing their business and whatnot. So that's really cool that you do that. I do want to say hello to a few people that are in the chat. So the broski point for the first person tailgating this morning goes to Ray Sandollar. If you could throw him on the list, Nate, I'd appreciate it. We got Asian. What's up, Chris? He's been killing the game at them breaks, man. I woke up in the middle of the night last night and threw on 718's latest break. And, man, dude's over there making it rain with, like, pink, like, numbered to 10 Trae Young cards and stuff. My man's making that money. Good job, Chris. Speaking of making that money on the card, you got Simply Dana with her $400 LeBron card. What is going on, Dana? Good morning to you. A reseller man in the house. Good to see you. DC Sales, the master of the license plate. Good to see you. We have Paul, Gate City Picker, in the house. Guys, if you don't know Paul, make sure you go sub to him. He's a good dude. Very, very knowledgeable. We got Nate's boy right here, Nate.
No money, G
Unit. Dan M, what is up, dude? Looking forward to your latest and greatest memes. Got Kelly, the ECOM. She's the master of the roundhouse kick. Got Nikki T. What is going on? It's Zion's bestie. Got Victoria in the house. Good to see you. No, you did not miss the Larry video. Somebody has been slacking. That somebody is Nate. He got everybody all excited for an exclusive today, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to have some Larry Lafferty like busting it down on my channel, and nope, ain't no Larry Lafferty busting it down.
We had some technical difficulties.
Seesaw Flips is in the house. What is going on, man? Here's a wrench for you. Boom and boom. But since Nate let everyone down, here's 5 seconds of Larry Lafferty for your viewing pleasure. Boom. You don't see Larry in the chat, it's probably because he had a late night last night, so you guys got to cut him some slack.
With the ladies.
You know it.
I love the response.
Oh, LL Flash is in the house. What's up, Larry? Good to see you. Dang, man, you had a late night and you still made it for the morning show. That's dedication. My man, LL Stash. Got Sam in the house. What's up, Dapper Tiger? Good to see you. We'll throw thank you so much, Dana, for throwing David's link in the chat. For anybody that is not subscribed to David and you'd like to go
awesome.
follow his journey, there's his channel right there that Dana threw in the chat. Anybody else we missed, feel free to say something in the chat and we will greet you as per always. But I'm going to start asking some questions of our guest. So, David, what got you into doing liquidation?
So pretty much, I think what got me into doing liquidations, I don't think it's something that I really got into. Just in general, it's something I've always kind of liked. I think it mainly started back when I was in high school. One big thing about that is that in high school, what I used to always do is I used to always save up money, go over to Costco or like Sam's Club, and you used to be able to buy those, like, you know, the little packs of like 15, 20, 30 chocolate bars with different, you know, kind of candies, whatever there might be inside of it. I used to start off with those, and you weren't allowed to go around school selling that kind of stuff. But I would put them in my duffel bag, and I would just go around selling candy for at least a decent price, like $1, $1.50, just kind of making my way up and just starting that way. But I think it's something that kind of originated somewhere along that point. And just at this point, I've always wanted to develop it greater, just kind of flipping things and trying to scale up, you know.
That's awesome, man. There's a eBay question here. If you ship to areas affected by protests, will USPS hold packages until it's safe? Honestly, I don't know. I would imagine if there was some kind of like craziness happening, they probably wouldn't like bring packages like right into the middle of it. But honestly, I don't know. I guess it's going to be like one of those things where we're kind of going to have to wait and see. But yeah, I would imagine like if there's like something major going down, they probably wouldn't endanger themselves to deliver packages. But I would say if it stays like right as it is right now, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. But if it gets like real bad, then maybe it would affect it.
I think for the most part, everything should be okay shipping wise. I really don't think anything will be slowed down or anything. I don't think.
I think if they made it through the pandemic as good as they did, they'll probably make it through this too. But yeah, I mean, people are stupid. They just need to stop being dumb.
That's true. I don't think it'll be affected that much. I think at the end of the day, if people do end up getting anything delivered directly to the post office, I think the post office might end up holding it, especially maybe if their address is somewhere located that might be affected by all the damage, or, you know, anything that might be going on. Because I don't think necessarily there's been any protests that have affected any of the post offices or anything along that lines. Like, because I know people can probably pick up at the local post office and maybe they hold it. I don't know.
Yeah. What's up, Justin? Grimes Finds is in the house. Good seeing you, man. Appreciate you being here as always. And if you guys aren't subbed to him, make sure you do, because he is Lion Tamer approved, ladies and gentlemen. As is this show. So
you know it.
So just out of curiosity, like, because I've really wanted to dabble with liquidation. I just haven't gotten into it yet. Out of everything that you get, like, what would you say ratio of items that you pull out would you say are?
What?
Like hard to like resell. You know what I mean? Like I would imagine that you'd get a bunch of stuff that's quick flips, really easy to sell, but then there'd probably be several things like per pallet or per case or whatever you're getting. Like that would just be like dead inventory.
That's a good question. Actually, got a couple boxes right behind me of that too. It's pretty much it's very unique niche items that are very difficult to sell. And honestly, I think as a percentage of how much of that I get per pallet, that's a good, I've never actually had to think about that. I honestly would say it does depend on the pallet. It does depend on the category of items that you're purchasing from. But I would say maybe 10% or under. Honestly, would just be like that dead stuff that you really don't have like an option, but either giving it away for free, doing some sort of raffle, or like just donating, or maybe putting it literally for like $1 for sale, because it's just very niche and hard to sell.
DC Sales was asking if you could let everyone know what platforms do you sell on?
Yeah, so I actually sell on multiple platforms. So for anything that, for me personally, because it takes about 5 minutes or so, just roughly, to create a post on eBay, and I don't like spending too much time on that since I have sometimes hundreds of things to sell. eBay, I only stick to the things that are maybe $25 or $50 and over. That way I don't spend too much time listing like $5, $3 little things, because remember, there's fees, there's a bunch of different things you have to do. And again, all that work for just like $5, it's not really worth it. So I only stick to $25 to $50 items and over for eBay. OfferUp, and I don't really use Letgo too much, but OfferUp is a great one. OfferUp, you can ship anywhere as long as it's under 20 pounds. A lot of people look at your stuff. A lot of sales come in there. A lot of local sales you can get there every single day. Honestly, I think I get most of my revenue from OfferUp, and just shipping things across the country, just based off OfferUp. And then the last final thing I use, because there's plenty of other resources, but the last final thing I use is mainly social media too. Social media is a very great tool. People don't really notice how powerful it is in making sales. And something cool that I do is basically on my Instagram page, again, it's at Waitwhoisdavid. Everything I have is at Waitwhoisdavid. But pretty much on my Instagram page, every single day, a lot of my followers are accustomed to me posting something I call the daily deals, and I put a little picture saying today's daily deals, DM if interested, all these different things. Basically, I post a screenshot of what something would cost on Amazon. Like example, let's just pretend that this water bottle on Amazon is $7, right? I screenshot it, I circle it saying, oh, this is on Amazon, here's the price of it, $7, right? And then I basically take a picture in my little photo studio right here, that's a really tiny one, basically showing, hey, look, I have the same product. I'm selling it for $2 or $3 or $4, whatever it might be. Basically showing people that there is a deal and there is something that they can, benefit from this and get something great out of it at the end of the day. So pretty much eBay, big items, OfferUp, everything, social media, pretty much the cool stuff that, you can easily sell and, show to your fans and followers.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I need to get better with using social media to drive sales. But yeah, there's tons of money to be made on social media. Definitely. That's a really good thing to bring up. Yeah. I want to say hi to Brittany Brands. Appreciate you being here, Brittany. Good morning to Danica, to Justin, the Flippin' Accountant. Appreciate you guys joining us.
Oh, Justin's here?
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. I know him. That's actually how I found your channel and did everything through you. So shout out to him.
Nice. That's always cool to hear how people first find the channel. So thank you, Justin. Appreciate you sharing it out, man. But Justin's a good dude, man. Super knowledgeable. So if you guys aren't subbed to the Flippin' Accountant, make sure you do. And if you guys didn't see his interview, make sure you go back last week. He was on Wednesday. So highly suggest you guys check him out. Thank you. So how long have you been creating content on YouTube for, David?
So good question there too. I've actually been creating content on YouTube actually for, I don't even know, maybe I think 2 years now. The thing is, there's only one video on my page right now. At one point I did used to post, I was fluctuating at one point in my life whether posting, either gaming videos, vlogs, things like that specifically. And it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I need to reset this. I need to start somewhere new. So I basically restarted the entire channel, remade myself, rebranded myself under the Waitwho brand with Waitwhoisdavid and Waitwho Liquidations. And at this point, I want to focus it all around business, entrepreneurship, and motivation and tactics on getting businesses started and getting them to a better place. And I only have one video. I still have a lot of the subscribers there, but I'm going to start posting frequently. I actually created a course too, a liquidation course. I'm barely going to post. I actually did the recordings actually before this video call, and that's all going to be, going up every pretty soon. Overall, in general, I think I'm really excited where I'm going with the whole YouTube thing. I'm not as well developed as you have your thing yet, but I hope to be, like where you're at one day, or at least soon.
Oh, dude, to get where I'm at, it's not going to take too hard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still trying myself. I'm still learning my way and trying to get my wits about me and figure out this YouTube thing too. So anything I can do to help you get where you need to do, where you want to be, I'm more than happy to help you get there, because I know that there's been plenty of people that have helped me. Like, for example, you even finding the channel, if it wasn't for Justin, the flipping accountant, you know what I mean? So that's like one extra person that now knows about my channel just because Justin's awesome. You know what I mean? So it's one of those cool things. Boom. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, I was
he's back
up by his name.
All right, now I can finally hear. Like my internet went out, sound went out. I'm like, I had something to say, and then I get cut off. Plus, my son pulled his internet or not.
I like when I host a show, Nate's video has to have the Picksburgh tramp stamp on it. It's like right on there. I've branded you, Nate.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Harry, man, I'm going to throw you a wrench. I didn't know you didn't have one. Boom. You've officially been knighted part of the Picksburgh crew.
I don't know how much you heard of my question I was about to ask you, but the one thing that worries me about liquidation is, depending on who you go through, some companies, to me, where I look through the boxes and stuff, they look like they kind of cherry pick through and maybe make like a super pallet for somebody that will pay maybe closer to the amount like that it's worth. In other words, like say something's worth $100, like they'll put a super pallet together and maybe charge 65% or something of the value of it because it's all really, really high quality stuff, and they kind of cherry pick out the other ones. I've heard that from a couple places or whatever, and then when you kind of get your pallets, your cases, it's kind of the harder to sell stuff that, now you have money tied up. Do you notice anything getting put together or anything? Like, you have any issues with just, like getting a pallet and be like, man, like, what was I thinking with this? Because, this is one
that I can see why that is an issue with certain places and certain liquidators, but at the same time, no. So the thing is, I completely see where you're coming from with that. I have bid on pallets before, and I have actually won a pallet before in an auction. Basically, how do I explain it? It basically is what you're kind of explaining, because it also depends who you buy from and who is sourcing it. So for example, on liquidation.com, which is like the main thing I'm using right now, with liquidation.com, there is a warehouse here that does directly get a lot of the pallets. I think it's directly from amazon.com, but pretty much whenever I buy pallets and they are sourced from Las Vegas, Nevada, here in the warehouse that we have here with liquidation.com, it pretty much keeps true to its word. A lot of the items in there are good items, premium items too, a lot of good branded stuff in there. And a lot of that stuff is actually really good. But liquidation.com, I noticed anybody can be a seller, and that's the issue. That's when people start finding pallets, because I can literally, for example, imagine all the dead stuff that we talked about earlier. Yeah. Imagine all those small little things that I have in there. If I'm just like, oh, look, estimated MSRP $2,000, but at the end of the day, you're literally, and you buy it, let's just say $300. You buy it, you're stuck with $2,000 worth of unsellable stuff that nobody wants, So it's like that. The problem is that other people can go on there and become sellers independently on there, but that's who you need to look out for, and you need to look to see who is a trusted seller, who actually is good and who isn't. So it's just really of trial and error and looking at, let's say, like the list of items or manifest, which most websites I think should have.
Yeah, that's a really good point, man, because I didn't even like really even factor that in. Just like a lot of people don't factor in that there's like people like me and Nate or whoever that like are selling on Amazon. You know, they think it's just like, you know, they're ordering from like Amazon.com, not like from an independent seller. But yeah, like, cause just like Jody said, he heard liquidation.com is pure trash. So he may have heard like somebody that got like a pallet or something from one of these like independent sellers that, you know, that are in there just basically taking all their pickles and throwing them all in one big pallet to get rid of them, rather than like a reputable, you know, like you're saying, like you know, the warehouse there. And I guess that's where it kind of helps to like kind of know the liquidation game and like some of that stuff too, you know, rather than just getting in blind, you know, so that way you know what to look for and what not to look for too, I would think.
Correct. And that's actually a very good point you have there with that. And pretty much kind of to back that up or add on to it, it's just, I think a lot of people who say, oh, liquidation.com is just not the place, you know, they say it's trash, this or this. Again, your opinion on it, I'm not saying it's wrong, it's valid. There is trash on there that people sell sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But I think it's also the experience that they had from it, because you are putting your own money down on what you expect to be really great. It's just, again, it's just, I would say if you go on liquidation.com, a few things to keep in mind is just remember it's big companies like liquidation.com direct, which is the good pallets to buy and that's where the money is. But then there's also independent sellers, which is something to keep in mind, which is honestly what I would say stay away from completely. Like some of them are probably good, but I would say I'm just staying away from all of them because I'd rather stick to something that's reliable. So just source from direct liquidation, like directly from liquidation.com, from their warehouses. Don't go from anybody else's. It's not worth the risk, honestly, because again, it's an investment. It's already risky. Don't risk something riskier within a risk, you know? So just very simple. Just look and watch out who you source from.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be somebody that, you know, makes the rest of the site look bad. There's always that one person that just makes the whole thing look like doo-doo brown. So
yeah,
you just have to be very mindful and just really like when they give you the manifest and stuff like that for these different pallets and stuff, really do your homework and look up a lot of the information they give you, because that will give you mostly all you need to know. But if you're in your situation where you can go to the warehouse and basically walk up and down the, you know, the aisles and basically say, I want this one. Like, that's awesome. Like, I wish, you know, that was in our area or have something like that in our area, because it seems like most of the liquidation places are like in Indiana, Las Vegas, California. I'm sure there's something in New York
somewhere, like out where like Jordan lives, like Worcester area, I think.
I think there's a smaller one out that way. Not as big as like some of the hubs that I'm thinking of or whatever, but like having that, being able to basically go there, pick it up and do all that, you can make money doing it like that, because if you pick it up and do all the shipping and everything like that, say you have a truck, you know what I mean, where you're able to go get 6 to 10 pallets and you don't need a CDL or anything to go do that, you know, that saves you a lot of money, because shipping is one of the biggest things you have to pay for, you have to budget for with the lots, because of, you know, it just being expensive. It's just the added on cost. You could buy a pallet for $60, but then, you know, it's coming from Las Vegas, we're in Pennsylvania. Next, you know, you're paying $500 for that pallet or something crazy. You know what I mean? Then how good is that pallet going to be for you? You know what I mean? That's why me and Anthony were always talking about, like, if we're going to go do something like that, let's go buy 6 pallets. Let's go buy 8 pallets. Let's get something pretty massive, because we'll save on shipping, and that will bring our total cost down. Is that something you do? Do you go get multiple pallets, or do you just get the 1 or 2? Maybe you might be able to do that more because of maybe depending on your transportation setup.
Right. So pretty much in my case specifically, whenever I do end up restocking or buying more pretty much liquidation pallets, I usually tend to get them in small groups. Like either there's times where I just get 1. There's times where I order 2 big pallets, because again, the pallets are, you know how big a pallet pretty much would be. It's like I don't know, like 4x4, 5x5. I don't know how big a pallet is. And then sometimes they're even up to like 5-6 feet tall with the amount of stuff that are on there. So it gets pretty big, and I usually just pretty much just take a big truck, and it fits just one pallet on the back. But what I do usually is if I do order multiple pallets, I usually, so for example, if it's here in Las Vegas, I just I basically set up a scheduled pickup for, let's just say, one for Monday, another one for Tuesday, or maybe if I need time in between, like Monday, Tuesday off, Wednesday go pick up the next one, Thursday off, pick up the last one on Friday. That way I can have like time in between to organize things at home or whatever I need to do, just to basically take care of it. But pretty much it's that, or the next best thing in regards to what you're talking about is, which is, I think it's a really good idea. If you have the money to be able to rent a truck, and if you don't already have a truck, right? If you have a truck, you're great. You're square to go. But if you don't, a good tip that I recently learned is if you know that there is a liquidation warehouse somewhere close to you, what you can do is you can actually just take your truck. You know, it's better to pay, you know, $50 to $100, $150 in gas as opposed to paying $300 for shipping. And if you can also get a little U-Haul little trailer, or like the ones that don't count miles, or something where you can just get a little flat trailer on the back, just stack your pallets in the back of it and just pick them up from a neighbor city or wherever you might be, you know, going to. In my case, I drive over to California. You know, let's just say like if I take a Toyota Tacoma truck or something, right, with like some decent gas mileage, I can go over there maybe like on 50-ish bucks or so, a little bit over, and then 50 back. But the cool thing is, if I have a trailer and everything on there too, I can pick up multiple pallets. And over in LA, I believe they have Via Trading, which is one of those warehouses that you were talking about, the ones where you just walk in, look at the pallet, say I want this one, bid on it or pay for it, and then just pick it up and go.
Yeah, transportation is a huge expense, and the main thing in reselling is try to get things as cheap as possible and get as much as possible. So basically, if you're doing that type of business, you definitely either want to lease a truck, like, well, depending on how many pallets you do too. If you only do like one pallet a month.
In my case, I try to
You're doing 5, 10, 15 pallets a month. The amount of money to be saving on the amount of money you'd be saving on, you know, just the costs, you could easily pay for that, you know, that truck's loan payments or lease or whatever the case may be.
Dude, you're dropping some real nuggets of information out there too, like especially with the U-Haul trailer that doesn't track miles, like that right there. That could be a game changer to somebody that's going to pick up their own liquidation or any kind of big score. It doesn't even have to be liquidation. You could be going to buy out a store somewhere, you know what I mean? And maybe you have to take several trips, you know what I mean? So rather taking a U-Haul back and forth several times, just, you know, if you get a truck, like, or somebody, you know, has a truck with like a, you know, one of them little ball bearing things on the back, you could just get one of those U-Haul trailers that don't track mileage and just, you know, put that thing back and forth for, you know, for days trying to, you know, save some money.
Yeah, and they start off around $14.99 or something, I think, from what I read. I haven't actually had a chance to make one of those trips yet, basically going, you know, to LA and buying multiple pallets. But it's real simple. You just get a truck. If you have a truck, good. If you need a trailer, U-Haul, or get one, rent one wherever you need. You can probably rent one for a good, cheap price other than U-Haul, and it might be bigger and longer with enough space for you to get stuff on there. But I believe, what is it called? U-Haul? Whatever it's called. Pretty much they have these little flat trailers. It doesn't have, not the little square ones that have like a little room for you to place it in and then you close the door. Not those. They have these weird, like, long, flat metal ones that just, they're very small. They're short. It's exactly what you think a little pickup flat trailer looks like. You can put 1, 2, 3 pallets on them maybe. And I believe those do not track miles, mainly because it's not like a whole vehicle. You're literally just using a little additional trailer that you can rent. And it's really nice, too.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. Because there's been times that I've even gone to get buys, and it's just something that was just too awkward to fit in my van. You know what I mean? And I've just grabbed a U-Haul for the, like, just a smaller U-Haul, just for the purpose of just getting something that just would not go into a van. You know, and knowing that could be a game changer right there for sure.
Yeah.
Now, do Do you do this out of your home, or do you do this in like a, you have like a warehouse or in another building or anything like that?
So currently, I do everything out of my home. If you were to see what the inside of my pretty much home looks like right now, it just looks like a big, huge mess everywhere. But I think it's worth it to try to, how to explain this? Just take advantage of the space I have here. While I can still fit things here in an organized way. The way it's looking right now, it looks like I'm actually gonna have to start getting either a small warehouse or maybe just at least like a really big storage unit, something. I'm gonna have to start getting a lot more space because what I'm doing right now is I'm actually at the point where I get 2 pallets every single 2 weeks. So I get a pallet a week essentially. Just to kind of keep it nice and even, but pretty much running out of space. But I do everything from home. I'm gonna have to move everything out of here eventually, and that's the goal. But I think it's developing very well overall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super important to do things as low as cost as possible, because especially at the beginning, like I know a lot of us here, we're working out of our homes and things like that to hopefully one day have a storefront or a warehouse, or some of us may even have some of those. So, we're all taking advantage of that, and you get the nice tax write-off at the end of the tax as well, write off some of your bills and stuff you have in your household. So, but yeah, liquidation is definitely something me and Anthony have talked about doing. I was just always, basically scared of putting a bunch of money into it, then kind of getting what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So I have access to a 10,000 square foot warehouse. Like here's a 10,000 square foot space in my dad's 15,000 square foot warehouse that we could use. And, I can literally open the door and have people just come in and walk in because it's on short and all that type of stuff. And it's right next to a thrift store too, so people would love that because they go crazy there. I mean, the amount of foot traffic there is amazing. So it's always something that we kind of talk about, but it's just we're not there yet to be able to do that. Definitely. Takes a lot of moving pieces and stuff to do something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say if we were to get liquidation, Nate, like we would have to either do something with your dad's place, or I'd have to get that like little storefront down here in New Ken just to like kind of have more space to operate out of and everything.
Definitely. I mean, I could, if we got 1 or 2 pallets, I could probably do it down here, but literally I would be like, squished.
Actually, because a lot of it would be like eBay and Mercari type stuff that we'd be most likely. So we would have to store it.
Definitely.
So we'd have to get like real strategic with it. Cajun Roots is in the house. What is up, Johnny? Spreading chairs in the house. I want to say what's up to you as well. That's awesome. They said that they saw my card video the other day, so they went and looked through their sons, and no big winners, but it was fun. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been like totally hooked on it, and I know Nate's been hooked on it. It's been nice like getting like my friends hooked on it too. So like we're all like hooked on it together, and like we hang out, we watch these like auctions. And look at Nate, he's like making it rain right now. He just turned those cards into his YouTube logo, like fanned them out. Yeah, we've been having fun with it lately. It's been a blast.
I got a couple
Speaking of work, Red and Chair doesn't have a wrench. I don't like seeing gray in a sea of blue. Boom. Picksburgh wrench now. So do you or have you ever, and would you recommend not doing this, purchased a liquidation lot that did not have like a manifest letting you know everything that was in it?
Oh yeah, I've actually my last pallet was a liquidation pallet that the manifest just basically said just assorted merchandise of whatever the category was that I bought it from. Yeah. I already made profit off of that. Bought it last, I think, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I don't know what day it is today. I think it's Tuesday. Pretty much, it was a pallet full of real random bunch of vacuums, like Dyson vacuums, things like that, right? Cool thing is with liquidation.com, actually kind of cool, kind of not. They provide you with like 1 or 2 pictures of an outside view of this wrapped pallet. And luckily enough, I know how much a lot of these brands sell for. So when it says just assorted merchandise, right, and it just says the average price per item, I'm like, okay. But I looked at the pallet, and it did have a lot of Shark vacuums. It had a lot of Dyson vacuums. I actually almost sold a lot of these recently too, and I've already made profit back on it. And I have came with a bunch of bread making machines too. For some reason, I have like 6 bread making machines. Like, they're just machines. You put your little thing of dough inside, close it, and you have like a perfect little crisp little ball of dough or of bread baked afterwards. But apparently those sell for a really nice price too. I'm gonna just sell those too. But at this point, that's just profit. And I know they go for over $50, $60, $70, $80 each. So that's a good amount of profit for about 6 of them. And I still have about 5 different like vacuums left. And again, it's like those like nice branded vacuums that are at least $100 minimum. Everything in there was at least around like the cheapest thing in there was a bread maker, which was like $60, $70 or so. So I think it's definitely good. It's just you have to know what you're buying and what the reasons are for people returning it in the first place. And you know, just that's a good thing to keep in mind. So it's really hard to mess up a vacuum and break it unless you like absolutely grabbed it and like smashed it on the ground. Probably people bought it. They were like, you know what? I don't think I want this vacuum, or you know what? I want my money back. I'm just gonna send this vacuum back. And they send it back dirty sometimes, but that's part of the process. Clean it up, refurbish it, fix anything on it. Bam. Recently, I actually posted this on my Instagram. Got a Dyson vacuum, $250 vacuum, right? Battery doesn't work on it. It was dead completely. That was $0 of a vacuum right there to me. What I ended up doing was actually had from a previous pallet, I had a replacement battery. Just switched it out, took screws out, put a new one in, went from $0 to $250, posted it on my Instagram. Within 5 minutes, that vacuum had sold. So nice. Just like that.
That's really cool.
It's just part of the process. Yeah, just fixing everything.
A lot of people here, of course, know that I like Amazon. I'm a big Amazon fan. I love selling on it. I love the fast amount of sales, the amount of sales, et cetera, et cetera. Has that been something you've ever thought about possibly adding to your platforms?
Like FBA or
you could I mean either or. You could do either or. You could do like more like an eBay type of situation where you keep the product, you ship it when it sells, or you could send in stuff FBA and then have them deal with all the customer service, the shipping, all that. You basically just wait for a check.
I've always considered looking into that and getting into this. The issue is it's just a whole new world for me that I actually have not explored. And if you were to ask me what I can do with FBA or how to begin selling on Amazon, I actually can't tell you a single thing about it. I have not dug into that at all whatsoever. I do notice that a lot of people do end up doing that. Like, for example, I think like the Flipping Accountant, he does that. I'm not sure if he's too much, but I know he does that. And I always look at his content just to see what he kind of does. And honestly, it's just, I see him doing it and I see a lot of orders come in. I see a lot of money happening and a lot of profit just by going to stores and places, picking up things and selling them back on Amazon, like seeing the before price and after price of what it could sell for. And honestly, it's something I'd want to look into. I think it just would take a while to get there. Right now, I'm just doing this thing, just trying to see if this is good enough. But overall, yeah, it's not work. It's not too bad. But yes, I want to look into that. No, I haven't done it.
Amazon is definitely a different type of platform. For some people, they love it, like myself. Some people they can't stand it. The main thing that attracts me to Amazon is the FBA, because you're able to usually get a little bit more for your product, and you could just have it at the warehouse. They deal with everything, and then you can keep doing what you're doing. Because how many employees do you have? Do you have you're just yourself, or do you have anybody else help you?
So it is pretty much just by myself for the most part. There is times where I have hired employees to work with me, and essentially it's either close family or friends that usually just take the spot. Because what I do is basically, for example, like if like listing any small thing, an electronic item or anything, right? Sometimes just making one post, by the end of the week, that one post somewhere, it probably had sold already, either on OfferUp, eBay, social media, wherever it might be through. It could be a $50 item. And cool thing is, I have hired people before, and I hire them for $10 an hour. Basically, I either hire them as my assistant or just like somebody who just helps me post things online, as in like, basically their job is to just basically take pictures of products, angles, everything, post it on eBay and OfferUp. That's all they do. And they do that for an hour straight. And the cool thing is, if they can get like 5 to 6 products within that 1 hour, some of these products might be $50, $100, maybe less, $20, right? Regardless, if they can sell like a $50 product, and sometimes it happens to be like 3 or 4 per hour that they end up selling. I don't know. It's like it's easy money, and it definitely works hiring an employee, because it is quite stressful, and it is a heavy load having to deal with hundreds of items sometimes.
Right.
And paying somebody $10 an hour, I would pay them it would be a part-time temp, like 10-hour job position, like a week. So it's like if somebody needs 10 extra hours at $10 an hour, that's pretty much how I hire. Because again, it's $100, but the thing is, the amount of work that they put in, just listing things in that 10 hours, basically it could come out to more than $1,000. And honestly, I think that's still really good at the end of the day. That $1,000 is low, by the way. It's definitely a lot more than that, but I would just say that's pretty much roughly kind of what you end up getting. And it's definitely good, because it is a heavy load sometimes, and you just can't, it's just finding the patience to just sit down yourself and hour on end when you need to do so many more things. Just it can get stressful just taking pictures of hundreds of different things, posting and doing all this. It does get repetitive, but doing it with somebody else and at least having them do it along with you, it definitely
right. Like me and Anthony, we're one person teams. Like we get a little bit of help from our wives a little bit, but 99% of it's mostly us, 95% mostly us. So like with the Amazon side of things, listing stuff is super easy, because you just basically click list. It asks you if it's a dangerous product, like if it has like a lithium battery or whatever the case is, and boom, it's listed. Like, and especially Martinsville, like boom, like you're on the listing right now, selling that item. So it's very fast to list. And then on the FBA side, like, after you ship in a bunch of those different products, they're doing all the other work. So it doesn't really add too much more other than maybe some of the backside, just kind of checking to see, how things are going, check your pricing, so on and so forth like that. Because there is a decent market for used items and stuff like that on Amazon, where people, buy that type of stuff. But, that is the one thing that's made me kind of help me like kind of scale this thing, because you always look at, trying to buy more, sell more, and which ways you could do that without having to add somebody or whatever. And Amazon has really been a huge factor in that, because I work a full-time job as well. And, I'm not able to ship 200 packages every day. That would just be, I would basically die in 3 years if I did that every day. Like this weekend, I was shipping like crazy, and I shut it down because I ran out of boxes, and I was like, I'm just tired of shipping stuff. So I actually took my product off and threw it back up recently, and just to give myself a break. But that's the main thing, like adding something else to what you're doing, if you can do it and not have to hire another employee, like basically trying to maximize what you could do solo. And I mean, even if you hired someone just do the Amazon side, like just packing some boxes or shipping your FBA items, it could really pump up your numbers as a whole, as in your sales and your profits and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something that does help. And sometimes I even get my girlfriend to help me out too with things here at home, just with liquidation stuff. She actually recently started her own kind of like miniature liquidation business. She wants to get into it, and she bought 2 pallets recently, I believe, either 1 or 2 pallets, and she's starting to get into it as well, trying to build herself up, come out of this whole quarantine thing with something ready to take on the world, because she just really does not want to go back to her job, and I completely get her. Most jobs nowadays, you really can, if they pay minimum wage, a lot of jobs do pay minimum wage. You can probably make more reselling at this point than actually going and working for somebody else, building somebody else's business. Instead, just do your own thing, sell things on your own time. It's probably a lot easier, and that's what I think she's trying to get at.
Yeah. As long as you have somebody like giving you a hand with because there's 2 things you got to have in reselling. You got to have knowledge. You got to have money. Like those are the 2 things you have to have. Now the question of how much knowledge, how much money you have to start, I mean, that's going to vary depending on what you do, et cetera, et cetera. But, for her having you, that's a huge help because, you're kind of the master of your domain and your business. And you know things like, how to do them in your way and everything else. And, you can kind of put her in a situation where she's liking what she's doing and it's being a huge help for you. And then you can go do other things like source or, find maybe even learn Amazon or whatever, you know what I mean? It just allows you to get freed up. And that's how you actually build this thing out and really scale it out. You know what I mean? Like, unless for some people, they like being where they're at, then that's different. But, most of us want to scale and get bigger and bigger and bigger and do better. And, that would be my thing I can really enjoy.
Nate will not let you leave until you sign up for Amazon.
No.
He has an affiliate link for you.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Send it.
Hold on a second. I dropped something under.
You'd be proud. You like Nate's picture, guys? Looks just like him.
I figured you like that. I dropped a card and I can't find it now.
If you guys would, drop a thumbs up for our awesome guest today. Show him some love. Leave some comments. Let him know how awesome he was. I'd appreciate that. Go to his channel. Subscribe to him. Follow his videos and show him some support and help him get to where he wants to go. I'd appreciate that very much. Crystal's in the house. Rosie's Closet. Good morning to you, Crystal. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Dana, for dropping the links.
She said, I won't let him leave until he signs up for Amazon. That would be so mean. Trying to bully somebody like that.
Well, there's not as many guests on Nate's channel because he makes them sign up for Amazon before they can.
No, that is not true. Usually you just have guests lined up before I do, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to go 5 deep, for the week to have interviews all week, so that's why I usually don't have guests as much.
I just like getting to talk to people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
John's in the house. Dad's Vintage Garage. Appreciate you being here, man.
What up?
So do you do any other sourcing besides liquidation pallets? Like, do you do thrift stores or garage sales or anything like that?
Yes, garage selling is actually really fun. Honestly, that one's it feels like that's, I think, because garage selling and thrifting honestly are two different things from liquidation, but it's very similar. When I do thrifting or garage selling, it honestly doesn't feel like I'm doing it for money, because it's just something I do honestly enjoy. Like literally, it's just you're going to stores, you're going to garage sales, and purposely shopping for a deal. And honestly, there's nothing bad about that. And the cool thing is you drive around, go different places, do different things, get yourself a nice drink, walk around, look at things you can buy for cheap and sell them. It's honestly a really, really good time. But that's pretty much it. It's just mainly liquidations, thrifting, and pretty much garage selling. But right now with thrift stores, I think they're all closed in my area, so I haven't been able to do that in a good while. Garage sales, there's very few around, but I think it's starting to slowly come up more too.
Yeah, it's been crappy around here too. Like trying to find some good garage sale. There was one this past weekend, but like I got like 0 sleep the night before, so I didn't even wake up and go to it. Which Nate gave me crap for because I used to give him crap for it like every week last week when he'd miss. Looks like Bluegrass dropped a new video about team box breaks for resellers. Check that out, guys. Yes, Rosie. David is in Vegas.
I just answered it too for them.
Oh, you did? Yep. Crystal's in Vegas as well.
Sonny's out that way.
Yep.
Las Vegas
Las
Thrifts.
Vegas Thrifts. That's a good one to connect with if you haven't met Sonny yet. He's awesome. You'll definitely like him. But Crystal Rosie's Closet's awesome as well. There's some like really cool people in Vegas.
He said, yeah, what part? They said, I'm on the east side of Las Vegas. I live right under Sunrise Mountain, just the very edge of the desert. But yeah.
How far is that from like where all the big lights and casinos and stuff are?
I live as far as you can get towards the east. So the way that Las Vegas is set up, just think of it like just think of a big circle. And on the circle, you have like it's literally one long street called Las Vegas Boulevard, like just goes across. Mm-hmm. And pretty much on that long street or line of, Las Vegas Boulevard, it's just, they call it the Strip, just one long strip of a street that just has all the casinos left to the right of it. There's some casinos scattered around the city, but basically everything's just kind of based on this one main street down the middle. And then almost everything else is just actual like businesses, fast food, restaurants, anything you can think of, thrift stores, like Walmart, like all these stores, homes, apartments. It's just pretty much suburban area everywhere else besides this main little area in the middle of the city. But I live as complete east towards, on the edge, on the outside of the circle as you can be.
That's cool. Yeah. Crystal says she lives near you. That's cool.
Oh, dang. Oh, near Hollywood Street. I live on Hollywood Street.
She may or may not be looking through your window right now. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
He's like, I'm calling from inside the house, David. No, I'm just kidding.
Rosie comes out of like the closet right here next to me. Hi, I'm here.
He didn't specify which closet. Awesome. Vegas. My wife wants to go really bad though, so maybe one day I'll come visit you guys out there.
That is definitely on my bucket list. I want to see the bright flashing lights, and then go gamble, and then go home probably broke or a millionaire.
If you come out here, I think best thing to do is come around. Like, I'm not sure whether you might be used to. If you want to come when it's decent weather, come maybe November, December, January, February, March. Around that time of year, it's mostly fresh and cool. Every other time of year, it's basically summer and like over 100 degrees, 100, 115, 20, something. I don't know if it still gets to 20. Like around 100 or 105. It's just really hot all the time. I don't even know what the weather is outside. I don't even want to check. But yeah, come around that time. Don't spend too much money on gambling. The machines are rigged. Then you can drink as much as you want. I would recommend drinking if you do come out here. Have fun if you do, but again, just careful with gambling because that'll really mess you up. It's better to have a drink than to lose $5 and not get anything.
I was
born 105 today. I would die in that kind of heat. Like I would drink.
I would sizzle. I would sizzle like some bacon,
dude.
I would literally like sizzle and just pass out and pass. Yeah, just literally.
Your beard get all nappy from the sweat.
Yeah, you just see like my beard like this. Like, look what I did on my green screen. Thinking about the heat.
They said they'll buy sports cards if they want to gamble.
Yeah, touche.
Been getting a lot of cards in lately.
Yeah,
good stuff. I had a really good batch come in yesterday. I had a jaw come in. I
I
had a
completely
couple
forgot to
honest.
bring my new stuff downstairs. Still have it all upstairs.
Then I got that stuff from that break that I got. There was a lot of clippers and stuff. So got my Kobe Whites. I just need more sleeves. They gotta come in like ASAP. Actually, hopefully they'll be in today. I'm hoping. I'll have to check it out real quick. I need those real bad.
So, what kind of stuff do you like to do for fun, David?
For fun, honestly, recently I haven't really had much time for fun. But if I do anything, it's probably just either just spending time with my girlfriend, just going on dates, or just eating, watching movies or something, or probably playing a video game to just probably relax and not stress out all the time about a bunch of different things going on. It's either that. There's a few other things that I do like to do. I do like geocaching. I'm not sure if you've heard of geocaching.
The stones?
Kind of. Wait, no, that's something similar. Geocaching is a completely separate thing.
Okay.
Pretty much people go out into the world. They have a bunch of little tiny cool little things. Like, for example, imagine if, I don't know, like it's basically like a real life treasure hunt that people have set up for you. And basically it's meant to be disguised as everyday things. Like, I don't know, like it's an odd topic. You would have to like Google it, just GEOCACHING. But basically people hide things around your area. You might be driving down the street or walking past a certain place, not knowing that there might be a cool little hidden little box or something with like things inside that people have like left, like toys or cool little things. But that's definitely a cool hobby. It's just basically if you like going hiking or going out into nature or just walking around anywhere and you're looking for something else fun to do along with it, you can find a little treasure thing that somebody has probably hidden around your area.
That's really cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'll have to like Google that or something. But yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Matt said he did a video on it. That's really cool.
I am. But it's definitely fun. It's a nice hobby on the side. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I don't know. I just I'm currently going to College of Southern Nevada to CSN, just for just computer programming and website development, just for coding and stuff. It's the backup plan B if all fails.
I'm sure you could probably even like intertwine them somehow. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Probably a good.
Oh yeah. I
skill.
use that currently.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Oh, I got 2 things coming in today. Sad day. I got my penny sleeves and my graded Zion.
Nice.
It's a low day on the totem pole.
I don't ever check like to see when things are coming. I just like to be surprised if something comes.
Well,
I like that.
I've been getting so many breaks and buying different cards and at auction and all kind of different stuff that I have like, I don't know, like probably like 20 orders coming in like still or whatever that's tracking still out there. So
When Amber brings Nate's mail to him, he looks like this.
But it usually comes whenever I'm at work, so I usually walk down the steps like that. And I see the like pink envelope or whatever, or the bubble mailer.
What I want to know though is after this pandemic, with like your quarantine hair, can we expect this to come back anytime soon?
Dude, my hair is long right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can we get a little bit of this like in 2020?
I don't think so. I'm not going full choir.
David's over there like, what?
I may or may not have been a thug at one time in my life.
What kind of show did I just get on? He's like, I totally regret ever sending that Instagram message.
Like, why did I come?
No.
Worst decision of my
life. He's gonna send Justin a message after the show, like, man, that was so.
There you go. You're getting better with that now.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get better at time in the doo-doo brown. Reseller Man would like the Mr. Burns update, and Sweet Texas Finds is now getting a official Picksburgh wrenching.
I didn't have too much. I didn't have too much of a conversation with Mr. Burns yesterday because I guess I did a good job Sunday. So he basically said thanks for what I did yesterday and
gave you a little pat on the bum and let you go on your way.
Well, minus the pat on the bum. Yes. I got 0 pats on any bums.
What?
That would be awkward.
This was Nate on Sunday, just getting it done so that Mr. Burns would be a happy boy.
Sundays I don't use a forklift.
Mr. Burns is Nate's boss. You don't use the forklift on Sunday?
No, I do all the paperwork Sunday. I load all the trucks.
That's probably that right there is probably why he likes you now, because he sees that you're showing him that proper respect now. Put a little respect on his name.
Yeah, when I don't hear any
and you joined his VENDOO crew.
Whenever I don't hear any I know reseller, man. I'm sorry, man. He says the updates are the only reason I tune in.
Yeah.
I try to be as transparent and as honest as I could. I could make them really interesting and make up some stuff, but I don't want to do that because it's these stories can get crazy sometimes. So, but yeah, when you don't hear from Mr. Burns, when he's there for that 4 hours or whatever that I deal with him, which is usually the worst 4 hours of my work day. If I don't hear from him or if he doesn't call me in his office or anything like that usually means I'm doing a good job because he does the opposite of a normal boss. A normal boss would give you a pat on the back, say, "Good job, son. Keep going out there hustling and doing whatever," right? This guy, literally, anytime you get called to the office, it's like, well, I screwed up somewhere. Did something stupid. Then I'm talking to the other guy, got called in the office, like, "What'd you do?" And he's like, "What'd you do?" I'm like, "I didn't do nothing." He's like, "Exactly. That's probably why we're getting called in here."
Oh my goodness.
You and Mr. Burns, man. I can't wait till you come in with a really good update.
Well, hopefully one of these days I just say, "Hey guys, I'm gonna do a 24-hour stream because I don't have to work ever."
You know what you should do? The day that you quit your job, you should wear a GoPro to work.
See, I don't know the day I'm gonna get fired or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's a plan, like
you might as well get them glasses that have the camera built in. Then just start rocking 24/7.
I think it was funny that it's at one point at work, I used to get blamed for a lot of different things because I'm on a middle shift, so I deal with everybody compared to like the morning shift deals with just basically the morning shift, maybe a little of the night shift, and like whenever they just first come in, and then vice versa. So I'm dealing with both shifts. Like half my shift is during the morning shift, half my shift's during the night shift, and literally like I kept getting blamed for stuff. And I told them, I says, I'm gonna start wearing my GoPro. And then whenever you guys say, "Hey, you did this wrong" or whatever, I'm just like, "Here's the video."
So are you saying that this is not proper workplace etiquette, Anthony?
Yeah, I don't know where Anthony's ever worked that happened. But, that doesn't happen with Mr. Burns. That would be awkward. Yeah, unless it's like a football game or something. Like, I don't even think that happened with me because that's awkward.
Nice play, Nate.
Good job, son. David's like, "What am I doing here still?"
Yeah, like
Get out of here.
He's like,
I'm enjoying this.
He's like, "I'm sorry, guys, but I'm having internet problems." Sorry, man.
What up, Alex?
No, you're fine. I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
Alex says, "I'm my own boss. I pat my own."
Woohoo.
Whoa.
He's like playing those Donkey Kong bongo beats. You ever see that game for the GameCube where you're like, bong, 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 bong. And literally that's the controller, like the whole way you control Donkey Kong. Bong, 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 bong.
I remember that.
I wish I could be my own boss 24 hours a day. One day.
So what happens when you're a boss? You Donkey Kong at any time you want.
I just need Amazon and the rest of my life to kind of like work together. Like, come on, guys, let's get this together. Like, no car failures, anything like that. That'd be great.
For sure. I don't think you're too far off though, man. Like, I think if you continue to do numbers like you're doing on Amazon, I think you'll probably be your own boss before you know it.
I mean, if I didn't have to buy that van right when I did, and going on with what I had just recently with Mercari, I'd probably be where I'm at, where I need to be, and just be done. I would literally probably would do that because I would have a really nice cushion. Like, I run things down to the wire, like cash wise. Like, if I know I got a deposit coming like the next day or whatever, I'll spend my money down to the last like $10 because that's how like invested I am in reselling and really trying to push to get where I'm going or whatever. I'll put my last dollar basically in the pot, knowing that I'm getting paid like the next night or the next morning or at midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
And just to fully get as much cash stacked up as fast as I possibly can. So, I'm used to working with low budgets, but that's not ever a problem. It's just getting that comfort zone of cash where like I'm able to, okay, well, reselling has really taken a dive. Here's this amount of money for bills and food and line tamer and, the essentials,
Mm-hmm. Line tamer's essential. That's awesome.
I figured you like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. You know what I mean? Just having that cushion. If you have that cushion plus enough bankroll to like project or build or source or whatever, depending on what your business model is, if it's pallets or if it's garage sales or if it's RA or OA or whatever, if you have enough where you can go out and store, say, for the next month and go get a bunch of stuff or whatever literally you're filled to the max and keep building, growing and growing, because you have to replace that income. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure you're able to do bigger numbers than what you're really doing. You could do it. You know what I mean?
You can do it.
You can do
it. So what's your goal like for the next step for your business, David? Like, what would you say, like a year from now, where would you like to see yourself?
A year from now, I would still like to be self-employed. I would like to see myself not having everything behind me, at least my own location, pretty much to store things in. A year from now, I would like to have official employees. I would like to be registered as an official reseller in the state of Nevada. I was about to say Las Vegas. But yeah, I think that'd be a very good place to be at. Just pretty much, I want to just completely self-employed and just everything that I've mentioned. It's just, I think that's the ultimate goal for, I think, all of us here and just anybody that wants to get into this kind of a thing.
This is my dream home, I guess. I got a bedroom, bath, a kitchen, and then my storage. So I could find a house probably a living room here for the kids, and that's it. Like the rest of this is just Amazon madness. Yeah, like literally.
The funny thing is, you have one bedroom. So what would you just have, like bunk beds in there?
Oh, it'd be like
everyone in.
It'd be the party room. All the kids would be in there. They would never wake up and sleep or whatever.
Boom boom room.
No, that would not be a good boom boom room with 3 kids in it.
Justin said, "When's your next deposit, Nate?" He said, "I will help you spend it."
Oh, my next deposit. My next deposit is they pull it next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday, and then I get it Sunday.
I mean, if you're helping people spend money, Justin, I got a little bit of money I could spend. You know what I mean? I got a few shekels I could throw around.
You got a few ones to throw around.
I could make it rain a little bit, just not a lot.
Maybe a little thunderstorm.
I think it get a little bit wet, just mildly.
Maybe a little thunderstorm.
Yeah, more like a sprinkle, but every little bit counts.
You know it. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the dream. You know what I mean? Like, just keep progressing, keep getting more profitable, keep having more success, making good buys. Yep. Like that's one thing that I think I'm doing better and better. Every time. You know what I mean? Like just like how that we're together that what was it, Saturday, and like I was able to pinpoint that one thing that we're looking at and not buying that. You know what I mean? Like that, because at the quick glance, that was a great item. But if I didn't think the way I thought about that, then that would have been a little bit disastrous at the long run.
It's a great point right here. Salary jobs work you harder than any type of job. They squeeze every dollar out of you. Physically, I'm working harder, but mentally, I'm enjoying all the reselling work. Doesn't feel like work. That's what I like about it too. Even if I have to pack 100 boxes, I'm sitting here most of the time, normally either on a live or hanging out with some people behind the scenes, or watching YouTube or Netflix or something while I do it. So it's like, normally if I'm at, like, say, a factory job packing boxes all day or something like that, if I'm even like listening to something on my phone most of the time, they're not going to like that. So the fact that, you know, I can do it for myself, I can do it at my own pace, and you know what I mean? It's like I'm packing this box because it benefits my pocket more so than anybody else's, you know. So I really like that aspect of it too. That's a great way to point that out. Absolutely.
That's true.
I don't ever like wake up and like think, man, I have to like go do eBay or Amazon or Mercari. Like, I don't ever dread that. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, it'd be like Sunday afternoon, I'd start thinking, man, I got to wake up and go to work tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, it's like I don't have that feeling anymore, and I haven't had that feeling for a really long time, and I'm just like thankful because, you know, I don't ever have to have that feeling again, because you know, whenever you do this line of work, you know, you basically make your own, you know, your own destiny as far as work and money and stuff goes. The more you put in, the more you get out.
I think that's why I really enjoy it too, because it doesn't feel like work, and because of that, you know, I work till the middle of the night, you know, and I'm able to multitask really good, pretty decent too, because, you know, we'll be working or, you know, hanging out, or, you know, I'll watch somebody's YouTube premiere or whatever, and I'm able to do that and do other stuff. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just watching YouTube. That's why sometimes if I'm in a chat and you see me say what up and then you don't see me say anything anymore, I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm just at my packing station or whatever. So
yeah, like 90% of the time I'm in a chat, I'm normally like doing work at the same time.
Yeah.
Or at least depends on how captivated I get.
I wanted to add on what you said earlier, just pretty much about I think just overall being grateful, just about you know, what you wake up to and what you do, because I know that feeling that you're talking about, just waking up, or every day just knowing like, oh dang, like that big sigh, like, oh, I have to go to work, I have to do this, I have to be forced to work my 8 hours today, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow for this week, and then it's just very repetitive and it doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. That's pretty much the feeling I get when I used to go to work and do all these things. But I think it's just about being grateful about what you wake up to. I think learning to truly be grateful, like, hey, I can wake up whenever I want, I can take pictures of things, post them online, go shopping, deliver things, do stuff, and then go have fun afterwards and play video games, like, or whatever it might be, right? I think being grateful in general for that is the best way to do it. But another thing is, I think it's more of like the topic of manifestation, as in like, you got to manifest the things that you want in life, and like where you want to be. You know, like, so you got to like speak it into existence, as in like, you know, just if you think you want to be great, you want to be successful, then tell yourself every single day, I'm great, I'm successful. And like, just by telling yourself these things, I think just slowly over time, like if I'm like, hey, I'm going to be the best liquidation reseller in Las Vegas, I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. You repeat it to yourself enough over time. Over time, you start believing it. And the cool thing is, I think just by doing that, you start, how to explain this? You start making small decisions every single day based off of this mindset that you've created and instilled in yourself. And I think that's what gets you places. And I think nowadays, most people, I think what they need help with is just pretty much believing in who they want to be and pursuing it. Because a lot of people seem to say, hey, I want to do this, but they don't keep pursuing that, and they don't keep believing in themselves. I don't know. It's just a little thing I wanted to throw in there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because, like, for example, like if you're making a big buy, you have to have confidence in yourself and your knowledge to do that big buy. So by, you know, like building up your like self-esteem and like your like mental like thought process and yourself and everything like that, like you know, it can help you, you know, be more quick on the trigger to believe in yourself, to trust yourself. Because, you know, like even with Amazon, I've done Amazon for over almost 2 years now. Like I still use other programs and things to kind of, you know, I better double check this type thing. Because I'm going to go super deep in a product. Like I'll buy 500 or whatever, something. And, you know, like I do have doubts in my head sometimes. I better like double check this, and I pay for it to do that. But, you know, honestly, a lot of times I'm always pretty much right, like with the buy or whatever. And I just need that little push to like really, you know, believe what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? So by like having yourself like mentally prepared for like reselling, because like once you go full time, like, you know, you're going to have those days where you kind of like, you know, doubting like maybe some buys you made or whatever. And then it affects your sourcing after that. But if you keep your mental thing going pretty strong, like, you know, you shouldn't get down like that. And you'll make better buys, and you won't second guess stuff and everything like that.
No, right. You're completely right about that. And that makes sense. I think it's just pretty much building up that confidence and just chasing after what you want. There is I don't know who said this quote, and I feel bad because I don't remember who said this quote. But it's short and simple. It's just, you know, if you kind of want the dream, then you'll kind of get results, you know? So it's something that if you want to pursue it, you got to just go full at it, because again,
right.
If you kind of want it, you kind of might get results, you know? So it's really up to you and the amount of effort you put in.
Definitely. Yeah. Cause I mean, this business is all, you know, all the work you put in, you get that back in dollar signs and success. So, you know, you gotta do it to get it. You know what I mean? You can't, you know, say I'm going to do it and then never do it and then expect it to happen. You know, you literally have to go do it. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about reselling. Like you get so much self gratification for having a good month or a good week or a good day, because those dollar signs come up. But not only that, you know that this is something you built. You know what I mean? This is you.
Yep.
You did this, not 90 salesmen made some sales and the vice president okayed something or whatever. You did this. You were the owner. You're the president. You're the CEO of your company. You did this. You know what I mean? So
I want to give a quick shout out to our boy Buffalo Picker. If you guys haven't checked him out, make sure you check him out. And also Glass City Pickers. Those guys are big time Steeler fans, so they rep Steeler Nation outside of the bird, because we travel like that. So shout out to you guys. They put out some great content too. So especially if you do Amazon, definitely check them out, because they are killing the game. So just had to throw that out there. Got to respect game. Respect game. Michael's in the house. Thrifting Goomba. What up, dude?
what up?
I don't know if I said hi to you yet. I think you might have been here for a while, but hello, Goomba. So does anybody have any liquidation questions, like anything we didn't cover? Or like, what would you say, David, like your number one bit of advice, like just in like the few minutes we have left with you? I want to try to like squeeze out the sponge and try to get like as much like useful nuggets as we can out of you.
I think failure is a good topic, and I think it's probably the best advice I can give. I don't like telling people to purposely go out and fail, because that's obviously never the choice or never the goal in mind. But with liquidation and reselling in general, the main thing is always, because like I can tell you, hey, buy this thing for cheap, go out and resell it and do this, this, and this. But the thing is, it doesn't do itself right. It's like not until you get up and decide to actually go out, buy something, do it, resell it, realize you might have messed up, realize you might have not made profit, realize you might have messed up here, whatever it might be. I honestly would say failing, trial and error is honestly, it's a really great thing that nobody really pays attention to nowadays. Most people, I think, are afraid of failing, when I believe failing is honestly what builds most people's businesses and builds, success at the end of the day. Because, I don't know, you won't know what success is until you failed 1,000 times before that. And, you might, in this case, you might just have to say, screw it, I'm buying this pallet, screw it, I'm buying this, I'm going to flip it. If it doesn't, it's okay. But put yourself in a position first to be able to buy a pallet, to be able to buy, begin liquidation. Like, I don't know, save up money that you're willing to completely lose down to $0. And if it comes out as $0 and you make nothing, it's whatever. You expected that in the beginning. But be willing to lose and fail 1,000 times before you get to something great. And once you're there, then you can keep progressing. But I think failing is something that people should not be afraid of, just in general, I think, and just doing things, because things won't do themselves.
Definitely.
Yeah,
like with liquidation, like for everyone looking to basically get your business to grow and scale bigger, add a pallet to your month. You know what I mean? Like, you'll have more items being added to your store or being added to your your overall sourced items. And the one thing that's awesome about liquidation, not every item is going to be a home run. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have some of those pickles in there. It's going to be there. You're not going to have a perfect pallet. So you don't have to worry about every item, but just make sure the bulk of it is solid. Do your homework. A lot of places will even give you like the Amazon listing to kind of give you an idea of what it's selling for. Like, they do that with bulk. They'll show you like different ASINs and stuff, like, so you can kind of look and see what's going for, what's selling for new. And then you're able to look at, say, used and everything else like that. But you don't have to have the perfect pallet. And like he said, basically almost have it like when you're going to the casino. Bring money that you're willing to lose.
Yep.
And then, if you lose it, like he said, you're not totally screwed. Like, you're not like, well, I can't eat today. You know what I mean? Like, build yourself up, get yourself in the right predicament, buy a pallet, get it for a good price. And then boom, if you do decent or break even, but you learn something. You learned about a whole mess load of products, and you know what not to buy next time. It's almost like failing, but having that safety net. Like, if you're on a tightrope and you're walking across, like, picture me on the tightrope. I'm gonna fall. Like, there ain't no way I'm getting across that. No way. But just make sure that you have a really nice, super, super plush safety net, and you'll be all right.
For sure. Few questions. Thrifting Goomba wants to know if you could let him know what the best type of liquidation pallet is, or would that be more subjective based on like what people like to sell?
That can go two different ways. If you just want general advice on what kind of pallets to look for, I would say, well, there's two different things here. I'll give him just general advice. Electronics are the #1 seller, as in speed, as in, like, for example, you post something within 5 minutes, somebody might potentially buy it because electronics sell super quick. But the thing is, the profit margin on electronics is actually a little bit, it varies. It could be less, because the thing is, for example, imagine you've had a box full of, let's say, 5 PlayStations or $2,000 worth of electronics that are going up for auction, right? MSRP. But that auction, more than likely, because it is electronic, because people know that electronics sell really fast, but they sell really good and right away, people might bid up to, let's just say, anywhere from like $400 up to like even $800 for that pallet. So that significantly lowers your profit margin, depending on the products that you buy. But if you want to make quick money, but it might not be full profit maximum, whatever is crazy of a deal, or not deal, but as much income as you can get, I would say electronics. That would be the #1 thing. The next best thing, it would be between two different things. It would be housewares, as in appliances. It comes like, because I personally, I mainly buy, I don't really stick to electronics. I buy houseware pallets, and what is the other one? Tools and machinery. So housewares, one, because I get great deals on them. For example, not too long ago, maybe about a month ago, I got about $9.5 thousand worth of MSRP of a bunch of different housewares, a bunch of appliances, things that people like, little things. The average range of a price was around kind of like $20-ish per item. And that was a great pallet. And it only cost me about $467 after tax, no shipping, and then after fees too. But it was $467 for 9.5K worth of things. and just by selling them and like showing people. Cool thing is, it's a lot of stuff that you get, but people come in, they buy it. So if you want to get a good deal and a good profit margin, I would say tools and machinery or housewares and appliances.
That's awesome.
One thing that always like got me interested, maybe possibly buying some, and this is the stuff they usually sell for dirt cheap, is the holiday stuff. And the reason why I say that is because I don't mind holding on to stuff if it's going to mature into bigger dollars. So say, for example, you know, we just have Memorial Day or Easter, you know, a couple of the holidays went past recently. Those will be heavy in boxes of like the general like merchandise or whatever, right? And you'll get those, usually you get them on clearance for cheap. But think of liquidation, how cheap those are going to be. You'll be getting those for a penny a piece. You hold them for 9 months, you know, 10 months or whatever, which it is a long time to hold. I mean, you'd have to have a pretty, you know, be able to not have a problem having that money, you know, out there for a little longer. But for that penny or that 2 cents or that 10 cents in 10 months, it turns into $5, $10, $15 a piece. Now you're making really good profits. I want to have like almost like a seasonal rotation. So every season that comes out, boom, I'm already in the next one. It'll take about a year, of course, to build up. But that's something I'm going to start doing where I'm able to just cycle every month or every couple months. I have the newest next thing coming out for the next holiday or whatever the case is. As long as it's like really general merchandise where it's not like, you know, like I wouldn't buy like New Year's stuff that said, you know, 2020 on it, of course, because, you know, that just wouldn't work because there's no volume in that. But the other stuff, like Christmas stuff, most of it's pretty similar every year. You might see different characters if, you know, like a new like toys, like a kid show comes up or something. But for the most part, they all kind of stay the same. Like Mickey stuff, for example, is always going to be one of the popular ones or whatever. So it's not like they kind of just die out. They'll stay around for a while as long as they are a hit. So
and Disney people will buy it.
Oh so,
yeah. I have a Disney person living in my house. It doesn't matter what it is. If it has Mickey's face on it, they will buy it.
Right.
For any occasion.
But I mean, that's more or less where, you know, you're able to get these pallets. They'll discount them down because nobody's buying them.
Yeah.
So you're getting stuff for a really good deal. Just wait for the discount. Like I don't look at bulk as much as I used to. I used to look on there all the time, and I was getting to the point where I was about to buy it, and the next year it's gone. And so I stopped looking because I put so much time in looking at these items and then not actually buy anything. But that is something I'm definitely going to start looking into as my business starts growing, where I'm able to just basically throw it in the back room, like all that good inventory in totes or whatever, and then just mark them and then pull them out every holiday that's coming up like a month or two before, and boom, like big wave of cash is coming in and very minimal investment.
Right. And I think that's a good idea. Just having constant stock, I think, is a really great thing to be able to manage well. If you can create self-sustainable stock as an inventory, I think that's a really good thing. I've gotten to the point where I've kind of done something with sustainable stock. And again, what I mean by that is basically like I buy, with the amount of pallets I buy every single month, I make it to the point where it's enough to pay my bills off, but also it's enough money to purchase the next set of pallets as it's going on forward. That way it's basically self-sustainable stock. I guess it's just, I don't know if that's a real term or whatever, but that's just what I'm calling it. And I think if you're able to do something like that and turn that into like a cycle that you can repeat, by having like this stock inventory for like the upcoming months ahead, and you get it way earlier, like you said, like for certain holidays, that's something that definitely could work out. It's just having to have the space, like a warehouse. And I think you said you already have a warehouse for that. So I think you're good for that. I think it's more on doing at this point, just buying them and going forward with it, you know?
Yeah, just just being able to have the cash flow correct and not really, you know, strangulate my cash flow by buying XYZ of the holiday stuff, where now I'm not able to have other stuff to go source and buy like that. Like, for example, if I'm doing that type of stuff and I didn't have money to save for Amazon to keep going and growing, I'm spending on my Amazon deposits on that stuff. then I'm literally going to kill my business. But if I'm able to add some of that stuff little by little and every year get more and more and more with the profits that I'm turning from that type of stuff, man, like it could really balloon and get huge. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really big.
Right. No, yeah, that definitely could work out. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, keeping at it, I think just in general is really good. But overall, I think that's, I don't know, good topic.
For sure. DC Sales was asking, is there any one item or category that's always a home run for you? Or is it kind of just touch and go?
I think I would just refer back to the same thing. Electronics, housewares, and tools, things that sell really fast. But if you need something that sells really fast, it would just be electronics. Or if you're just looking for more profit and better profit, like margin, like I said, I bought like 9.5K for like 467, which that's essentially a really good home run as long as you sell everything. It's a lot of work, but it's good profit there. So I would say housewares.
Sweet Texas Finds is asking, is liquidation more time consuming as opposed to normal thrift store resale business model? I would think just because of the scale of items coming in, probably, but I guess you'd probably be more adverse to answer that.
Well, it's back and forth. So for example, when you go thrifting, basically is it including, so when she says thrifting, is it just basically like, imagine if I spent an hour like driving out to like a thrift store and doing things, shopping around in that store, and then getting maybe 1 or 2 items and then coming back home and then, you know, listing them and selling them. I think personally, I'm not sure. I think that it takes longer to do thrifting and doing that kind of a stuff than it does to do liquidations, because essentially what you're doing in thrifting is going out to thrift stores and going out to garage sales, essentially, and just basically finding the things like these little treasure pieces that you can resell for higher prices. And the thing is, that takes time, that takes still effort, and you still have to take pictures and list everything. What I like about liquidation is that you basically are buying a pallet full of those treasure items that you're trying to make a profit off. And I think it just, maybe just for me, it skips the whole search process and just gives me it right up front, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it would more or less depend on your area that you're going, the amount of items or how good the store is. Like I know Jimmy, Uncle B, you know, he has amazing thrift stores in his area where he's able to go get $500-$600 items, or you know, at least like some game systems or whatever, like pretty often. Where if I go, I'm getting clothes. Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's basically it. Every once in a while, maybe a pair of shoes. So for me, I'd only get a couple items from say Goodwill or whatever. But if I went and bought a pallet and it's here, then boom, I'm already diving into it. I'm getting stuff prepped and ready to go, where I'd still be sourcing for, you know, a set amount of hours. So I guess a lot of it depends on like the amount of items that you're getting and what kind of items they are. You know what I mean? If I'm only going to the store, like you said, I'm getting like 1 or 2 items every, you know, day or 2 days or whatever, you know, you're getting these great items, but, you know, you're not able to get tonnage. And that's the one thing that like liquidation and scaling your business through liquidation makes a very, you know, like a very nice thing to add because of the amount of items that you got and how cheap.
Oh yeah, keep going. Sorry.
No, that's all I wanted to add. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say you're right about that. What you said, just pretty much, the thrifting thing can work out really good for certain people, depending on. I think that's also a big variable. Where you live does have a huge impact. The thing is, if I tried going thrifting, I'm not the only person in Las Vegas, you know, full of hundreds of thousands of, I don't know how many million, maybe a million more than, I don't know how many people are in this city and how many thrift stores there is. But here, I think it's extremely hard to find these like you said, like $500 to $600 items for super cheap. That's something that's, I think, really rare to do here. And I would actually spend more time searching for those kind of things and probably would end up with nothing at the end of the day, or something really small. Because it's just, because I'm not the only person, because I've seen so many people go into thrift stores here because it's so dense with people here that all have the same ideas, pretty much trying to do the same thing.
sure. So Summers was asking, where's the best place to buy a pallet? Like, what would you consider, like, if you were giving someone who's never bought one before, like, hey, go to this website or this company, like, who would you recommend?
Yeah, what's your top three? I would say, because there's always other ones that probably you use other than just like the one.
Well, it does depend on where you are and your point of at your journey on liquidation. If you're starting out, I would say always the best thing for you to do is just look up local liquidation warehouses, or just look up liquidation pallets near me. You can just Google that. You'll be able to see all the different websites and stuff. I would say do general research to see if there's any warehouses in your area. But if you need websites, Via Trading is a good one. They are a good liquidation website. They have good deals, good prices. You can go into their locations, look at everything. They're based in LA. Liquidation.com, of course, one of the top ones for me. Very good if you want to just get into it with a low amount of money. If you're more well developed and you have more money to just spend on things like that, I would say Bstock, B and then the word stock. They are they are on a different tier of liquidation. But if you wanted to start liquidation off and you have like 5 to 10K to just buy things with, Bstock, you can buy like semi trucks full of like Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart returns for a really good price. You do have to be a registered reseller through Bstock though.
That might be something, Nate.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're both fully set up or whatever. So I mean, we're already ready to go. So we do some wholesale and stuff. So, but yeah, that would be depending on what the stuff was. Because if you're buying in such bulk like that, you're getting deals on it compared to like buying pallet by pallet. You know what I mean? But there's definitely going to be more question marks inside that truck and more pickles. And so I mean, you'd almost have to have a setup like how Resale Rabbit has, where you're able to buy a truck, you're able to cherry pick kind of the best stuff, and then the rest of the stuff just liquidation down from like do like a sale like every day or something, where it's like everything's $5 and everything's $4, everything's $3, everything's $1, and then you just anything left over you either just hold on till next time, where you donate some of the stuff that is just not good, that you're hoping someone will take for $1.
For sure.
Right. Oh, yeah, that makes sense as well.
So Flippin Goodies is asking you, what's your average loss on a pallet? Like, say, it has 100 items in it. Would your loss be like 10%, 20%? I'm guessing he means probably like damaged items that you can't sell.
Yeah.
Because damaged items that I just can't use, honestly, it's a very low amount. Like at least from my experience, from what I've gone, I would say it's anywhere from 5 to 10%, more towards 5. But like they're like broken things that just don't work. Again, it's probably like around 5, but 15% usually in total of like pallets like that have about those dead items that we like the pickles things that are just very like niche and hard to sell. About 15% of the things in there are very small things that you probably won't end up selling. You might end up having to donate or sell for like 50 cents or $1 because they're just that niche. But about 5% of the things I get roughly are just broken and don't work.
Yeah, it also depends on what type of stuff you're getting. Are you getting returns? Are you getting shelf pulls? Are you getting fresh cases that just never made it out to the shelves or whatever? So there's a lot of different things that you can get so you can have it as not as much damage to if you're getting full return pallets and stuff, more of probably what he's saying, like the 15%, 10%, 5% type of thing. So it probably really all depends, because if you're getting like brand new case pallets and stuff, which I have seen stuff like that where it's literally in the manufacturer's case, it's never been out, and you should have pretty good success rate with that, not having anything dead in the box unless it just got damaged, going warehouse to warehouse or whatever.
Sure.
Right.
So in I guess in closing, because I don't want to run too much of your time off. We've already been going about an hour and 40 minutes.
That's okay.
Is what would you like people to know? Anything you'd like to promote that you're doing on your channel or in your business or anything like that?
Yeah, so there's a few things that I am doing. So for one, if anybody is watching and they want to get into liquidation, businesses, just doing this in general, I am starting a course. Pretty much, I'm going to be selling it for $20. It's cheap and affordable, right? Like half your dinner at Applebee's or something, right? For probably what potentially could help you for the rest of your life. So I'm going to be doing a course. It is going to be on my website. It is going to be on there soon. I'm currently updating a lot of the stuff on my website, but if you want to check it out, it is waitwhoisdavid.com. If you want to follow me on Instagram, waitwhoisdavid. It's the same thing. If you want to follow my liquidation page on Instagram, it's waitwholiquidations. And then other than that, I think that's pretty much all I really need to promote. Just my website, Waitwhoisdavid. I will be posting more YouTube videos on YouTube. My course will be on my website for $20, and then just I will be posting just a lot more things just in general, but overall just my website, Waitwhoisdavid, is where I will basically be updating everybody with everything. But again, waitwhoisdavid.com.
Wait, who? How about you, Nate? Anything coming up that you wanted to throw out there to the world? The webs.
No, honestly, just tomorrow will be on my show or my channel, and if everyone kills it.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on editing a video for you guys later. Me and Nate got together and met up to exchange some goods. We did a little sourcing for Amazon, and I still haven't edited any of the footage, so I'm going to try to do that for you guys later on today, probably sometime after Bible study. So if anybody's interested, me and Hit Flippin' Mama, we do Bible study at 2 p.m. Eastern on Flippin Hope. So if you guys want to come check that out, definitely be awesome to hang out with you guys there later on today. But other than that, we appreciate everyone's time today, and we hope you have a wonderful day, guys.
LL Stash video tomorrow.
You know it.